very bad. It's very offensive. Yeah, that sucks. I think he was joking, so I think it was less bad. I think it was like Trump saying, I'm going to be a dictator for a day. It's a joke, so it's not as bad. But
well, but Trump, to be clear, Trump's not joking when he says that, though, right? Trump.
No, that was obvious.
Yo, this is what. Oh, bro. Destiny thinks that Trump's a liar all the time. He's like, he lies all the time. But this one time when Trump says, I might be a dictator for one day, just one day, and he's like, that's 100% facts. That's true.
Do you think that those two things are on the same level?
I think they're both racist.
I didn't ask that. Do you think those things are on the same level?
Yes.
I think Joe Biden was probably like kind of saying it half jokingly, so it's not as bad.
I don't like how she doesn't.
On the same level?
I don't like how she doesn't double down. Like, yes, they're on the same level, and he asked the same question 3 different times because he's kind of autistic.
Obviously a joke. I mean, that was 100% a joke.
You realize that was in response to Sean Hannity trying to give him a softball question.
Yes, I do.
And it wasn't a joke when he said it.
Just for a day. How can you be a dictator just for a day? It doesn't make any sense. It's a joke. It was a funny joke.
What do you mean? No, it makes perfect sense because people like you would say, well, he was just exploring all the legal avenues available to him to see what he could get done.
He was making fun of people like you who are like, oh my God, he's going to be a dictator. It was a joke.
True.
You know it was a joke.
True. Yes. Making fun of people like him. And he doesn't even know. And then he's going to be like, the U.S. is going to fall apart because of people like you.
Come on. You know that was a joke.
I think that people like you are destroying this country. I legitimately feel like...
True. Called it. Let's go.
Legal immigrants, I don't think it even affects the country that much, or at least people don't think it does. Because if they did think that, why would they all cheer when Donald Trump...
Oh, yeah. He's going to talk about, oh, Trump destroyed a bill, even though he wasn't even in Congress or anything. Like, bro.
Set the bar for closing the border at 5,000 illegal immigrants a day.
Right now, the bar is unlimited.
Bill.
It did more than that. The bar right now is...
That's not true, because then Biden took executive action 3 months later, and he set the bar at 2,000. So just by defeating the bill, the bar was then lowered by 3,000.
And look, Destin doesn't even know this. He doesn't even know this. Look how baffled he is.
You have to understand like what it's like to be Donald Trump. I think there was a really good example of this last week when he did an interview with the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News, and he sat there and the guy just sat there and said to him like again and again, like every economist thinks that this thing that you're proposing will be bad. And Donald Trump was like, yeah, but it really worked really well in the 4 years I was president.
Yeah, but it didn't work. That's a lie. That's a lie. And all the economists do agree that large tariffs are bad, right?
I totally disagree with that. I think there's a ton of evidence. We can go through the evidence on tariffs. I'd love to get back to policy and talk about tariffs with you. I think he's totally right. But his entire presidency was...
He is right, by the way. But Destiny just literally just doesn't know the information. He's ignorant on this, but he's so Trump bad, like brained. I think he did look into it, but she actually brings up some good points about like what's going on. And Destiny just assumes that it's just bad because nothing happened. Like, I don't even think he even knows what she even brings up. So like, he probably looked into it and then heard the general synapses of like, oh, actually, it's like a ton of people said that it was wrong. So it must be wrong, right? Because like a lot of economists said that Trump was wrong. So I guess Trump is wrong without actually looking into any of the details, even though he's the type of guy that's like, oh, we should go to the details. But then he just takes the word of like other people without actually looking into it. But he hates Trump so much that he's just going to be like, well, you know what? It kind of sounds right. So yeah, Trump is bad.
Read it on Wiki.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically his whole Israel-Palestine thing. Like, people criticize Destiny's Israel takes, like, oh, he's just a Wikipedia warrior. And I'm like, I mean, he literally just read a bunch of, like, history Wikipedia articles. But yeah,
implementing...
We're not going to talk about Israel-Palestine right now.
Policies that helped average working class Americans, and being told that he was either racist for doing it or stupid.
No,
or
he was being told that he was being racist because he was saying things like a Mexican judge, a person of whose parents were Mexican, couldn't sit as a judge on a case of his because he thought he would be biased, or because he was what?
That was for the election, but that was racist.
Well, then you admit. So he's taken actions, right?
There's been mass gaslighting around issues like immigration to average people on both sides of the political aisle who had to just sit there and take it for years because both parties were sort of hand in glove on this neoliberal economic agenda. We were going to have free trade, and we're going to have like mass immigration. We're going to have no tariffs.
But we don't care. We don't care. Like, I'm just imagining what Destiny was thinking right now. Destiny's like, we don't care about all that. But when Trump said that racist thing, yeah, that's a big thing, right? You even admit it, right? What the working class people think about the immigration problem. We'll just, that's not a problem. When Trump says that thing about the Hispanic person, though, that's levels beyond the border issue right now. I'm like, bro, your priorities are completely busted, Destiny.
Why was Obama called the deporter-in-chief? Like, Barack Obama was known as being incredibly harsh on immigration. Under Obama's administration, for the first time ever, we saw a net decrease. He was
more harsh than Ronald Reagan, that's for sure, because he gave amnesty to 3 million immigrants.
Sure, Reagan was a long time ago. Reagan was a long time ago. I'm just saying that the gaslighting he's having right now, Obama was not easy on immigrants, right?
he was less easy on immigrants than Bill Clinton was, but he was mostly deporting criminals. I mean, look, it's you're right. I don't want to, you're totally right about that.
And if you want to talk policy for a policy thing, right? And this is why I know that conservatives don't vote on policy and they don't care about illegal immigrants. I don't think it even affects the country that much, or at least people don't think it does. Because if they did think that, why would they all cheer when Donald Trump...
Oh yeah, he's going to talk about, oh, Trump destroyed a bill, even though he wasn't even in Congress or anything. Like, bro. Like, if Trump has all this power to change policy, why does he need to run for office to gain more power? Like, come on now. Like, that was one of Destiny's other arguments. I don't think he's going to bring it up in this one, but he would say that, oh, Trump, the only reason Trump's running is because he wants more power. Like, that's the only reason why he kept on trying. Did the whole 2020 thing with the Eastman memo, or legal theory, as I like to call it, because that's literally what they call it. So I'm not going to frame it in the most negative way possible, like Destiny likes to do, just to make it seem like it's some evil scheme or whatever. But yeah.
Trump annihilated the immigration bill in Congress.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Republicans decided to pull the plug on the immigration bill, on the border bill in Congress, because Donald Trump told them to keep the border open for an election issue. Why wouldn't everybody be mad if this was such a huge deal in the United States?
Because that immigration bill...
Bro, that immigration bill could have been passed 2 years ago. Like, the only reason that bill is being passed, like, at the time that it was being passed, like a couple months ago, is because they want to be like, they want to seem like, oh, look, we had these issues all this time, but now we're going to address these issues like 2 years later, with like 2 years deep, 2 to 3 years deep into Biden's presidency, which shows how much of a priority it is. Like, bro, like, you're going to complain about like, oh, but Trump told them not to do the thing so we can run on it. I'm like, bro, there would, if the bill passed like a year and a half ago, there would be nothing to run on. But apparently now they decide to do something. Like, it's like, he brings this up as like a point against Trump. And I'm like, everyone plays politics, man. Everyone plays politics. Like, you're going to point out Trump, but like, Biden should have done something about this a long time ago, not wait 6 months before the election to actually do something. No, Congress, not Biden. Well, whatever. Like, the government decided to do something about it 6 months before the election of 2024. Like, this is the reason why Trump won. Come on now. Like,
set the bar for closing the border at 5,000 illegal immigrants a day.
Right now, the bar is unlimited.
Bill.
It did more than that. The bar right now is
not true, because then Biden took executive action 3 months later, and he set the bar at 2,000. So just by defeating the bill, the bar was then lowered by 3,000.
And look, Destiny doesn't even know this. He doesn't even know this. Look how baffled he is. He had a counterpoint so ready. And then she literally says, well, actually, Biden did just push an executive order thing since it didn't pass to like restrict it as well. And Destiny's like, how did I not know about this information? Like, look at his face. He's so like dumbfounded.
1,000 illegal immigrants a day. You can't with a straight face say that people aren't experiencing what's going on.
I know for a fact they're not. I know they're not.
You go into the inner city in any major city in America, talk to Black people. They are pissed about this because this is and has always come at their expense.
If you go, then why do all the major cities vote blue? They're all blue.
You're going to wait and see what happens.
The major cities are just, I mean, there's a ton of reasons. Obviously, that's not the only reason. It's a good point for this specific issue, but like, why do all these blue cities have all these homeless people? Oh, it's because they're blue cities. Like, come on now. Like, are you really gonna accept that type of answer, or that type of like logic trail? I guess let's just call it that. Yeah.
The level at which Black Americans are going to be voting for Donald Trump is going to be pretty high and staggering. And a lot of it has to do with the gaslighting around immigration, the sort of stolen valor from the civil rights movement, to where you're suddenly asking people who have been at the bottom of the pecking order in this country since its inception to bear the burden of giving other people the American dream that they were never granted. I mean, this is something people will tell you if you ask them about it. So but seniors are not 20% of the country, right?
Well, no, 60% of the country are homeowners, so it's more than just old rich seniors buying homes, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But there's a lot of people who want to be homeowners. There's a lot of people who would love to own property, who are stuck in the renter's market and will never be able to afford to own a home. There are people who are really struggling, who are struggling to pay rent, who are working 2-3 jobs and just cannot make it at the end of the month, and the inflation is absolutely killing them. And all they want is to go back to the economy from 2019, you know, and because they want that, they're told that they don't believe in democracy.
Well, they don't believe in democracy because of Trump trying to steal the election.
They're told about this.
You already admitted that Trump said and has done things that are racist. But
well, I admitted that saying that the judge could not be objective because he was Mexican.
Why does he keep, I don't get why he keeps doing that. It's like he's purposely like ignoring what she's saying. Like, she's saying that the people are being called this. She's not defending Trump. She's defending the people that want to support or vote for Trump. And then he's like, she'll bring up a point and then he's like, well, Trump actually did say that. So why shouldn't we call them racist for like supporting a guy that said that? Like, come on now. I don't think that's what he's saying. but like that's how it sounds to me, honestly. Like if I'm gonna give a good faith interpretation, I don't think he's actually saying that, but he doesn't give good faith interpretations of Trump at all. It's only bad faith. And then his argument is saying like, well, they always do bad faith, so why should I be good faith to them? And I'm like, okay, all right, well, if that's your argument for every single thing, that for all the reasons for why you're always giving like a bad faith framing about Trump, then like why should anyone ever give you a good faith like argument? Like, so no, I'm not going to be charitable for him, and I'm going to stick with for the rest of the stream, I'm just not going to be charitable at all. So yeah,
Mexican is a racist thing to say. It's obvious.
Sure, that was one of many things he's questionably said and done, but
I think it was really racist when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, you're not black. I mean, that's pretty racist too.
Wait.
True. Bro. Okay, let's listen to his logic trail down here. He's gonna be like, oh, well, isn't one like worse? Isn't one like worse? Come on now, isn't one worse than the other? And I'm like, bro, that's not the point. Like, who cares what you think is worse or not? Like, that's your subjective feeling of what you think is worse. Like, she obviously thinks that that's bad. And I also think that's bad. And I think they're both on par. Just because you think one is a little bit worse than the other isn't proving anything.
Okay. Do you think that those two things are on the same level?
I think they're both racist.
I didn't ask that. Do you think those things are on the same level?
Yes.
I think Joe Biden was probably like kind of saying it half jokingly, so it's not as bad.
I don't like how she doesn't.
I
don't like how she doesn't double down. Like, yes, they're on the same level, and he asked the same question 3 different times because he's kind of autistic.
Like when Joe Biden made that comment, Joe Biden was, if you listen to the statement, I was trying to say like, if you don't support the black community, you don't support me. If you don't vote for me, you don't support the black community, right? And it came out, if you don't support me, you aren't black. But he wasn't.
Your interpretation, just because you interpret that way, it doesn't make it any less racist. Come on now. You want to give a good faith interpretation to Joe Biden on why he said, oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Like, you're going to give a good faith interpretation saying like, oh, actually, he didn't really mean it in such a negative way. Like, no, it was racist. My interpretation is different from yours. I didn't think that. I actually thought he meant that. Like, bro, what are you going to say? I disagree with your interpretation. Like, okay, I disagree with yours. Have a nice day. Like, what?
That wasn't what he was trying to say, right? When Donald Trump...
No, that is what he was obviously trying to say. Like, get out of here.
Trump said, this guy can't be my judge. He said that his brain was Hispanic poison because his parents are Mexican. And because Trump is there on Mexico...
A charity for your guy, not for everyone else.
Exactly. Like, bro, like, it's so easy to see through this guy.
This federal judge wouldn't be able to see those case. You acknowledge those two statements are not even in the same universe of statements,
no,
right?
I think suggesting that black people have to vote a certain way or be called not black or traitors to their race is racist. It's
true. Even if it is a misspeak, it's still, like, terrible to say. Come on now.
It's very bad. It's very offensive. Yeah, that sucks. I think he was joking, so I think it was less bad. I think it was like Trump saying, I'm going to be a dictator for a day. It's a joke, so it's not as bad. But
well, but Trump, to be clear, Trump's not joking when he says that, though, right?
Trump. No, that was obvious.
Yo, this is where, oh, bro, this is where Destiny falls off for me, and like from like being serious to just like he's a joke. Like Destiny legitimately 100% thinks that when Trump said that he was going to be a dictator for one day, like he literally meant that. And Destiny thinks that he was telling the truth, the hard, cold truth. Like Destiny thinks that Trump's a liar all the time. He's like, he lies all the time. But this one time when Trump says, I might be a dictator for one day, just one day. And he's like, that's 100% facts. That's true. And I'm like, bro, like, what?
A joke. I mean, that was 100% a joke.
You realize that was in response to Sean Hannity trying to give him a softball question.
I do.
And it wasn't a joke when he said it.
Just for a day. How can you be a dictator just for a day? It doesn't make any sense. It's a joke. It was a fun joke.
There. Boom.
Legit.
What do you mean? No, it makes perfect sense because people like you would say, well, he was just exploring all the legal avenues available to him to see what he could get done.
He was making fun of people like you who are like, oh my God, he's going to be a dictator. It was a
True.
joke. You know it was a joke.
True. Yes. Making fun of people like him. And he doesn't even know. He doesn't even realize it. He doesn't even have a counter argument for that. What are you going to say? You're just going to breathe into the mic and then act all sad and then call her, well, she's the reason why, like, yeah, he's going to sign to this into the microphone and then he's going to be like, you know what? You're the reason why like the US is going to fall apart because of people like you. That's what he's going to say, right? That's his counter argument to all of this. Like, it's a joke, man. Come on now. Chill. Calm down.
Come on. You know that was a joke.
I think that people like you are destroying this country. I legitimately feel like if
True, called it. Let's go.
this country falls, it's because of this hand-wringing that happens for Donald Trump. You have no standard of behavior for him. You will make an unlimited amount of excuses. You will compare a Joe Biden misspeak to how Donald Trump conducts it. It is sad that we don't share it. So like I said, like all these policies.
Okay, all right. A Joe Biden misspeak. Okay, so you can run water for Joe Biden, but you can't. But when people run water for Trump, oh no, you can't do that. Like, why can't you just run water for both of them or be critical for both of them?